Hey, everybody, and
Hi,
welcome.
everybody.
This is your host, Scotty. This is
Reoccurring guest.
I didn't know the show. Hi, listen. This is the regular guy show. This is somewhat of a pilot or a tester episode. This stuff. This is my main man here, Devin. He ain't gonna be here all the time. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. If niggas start making money, he might be real. Regular guy. Listen, I had one of those. They paid me out on it last year. Listen, yeah, when I was working at I can't reveal. I'm keep my life secret. Then they gonna get my information. But I was working at a top company. I had 401k, and then I left that shit, pursued something else. Now I'm pursuing right now. Not with the show, other thing. But yeah, it's the regular guy show. This is gonna be a show, just for regular guys. We're gonna get some laughs. We're gonna get some real talking. We're gonna get everything. We're gonna talk about current events. Or it's really all encompassing, multifaceted kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just talking real talk. Yeah. I gotta do something.
Oh no.
That's it. Yeah. You're a pretty chill guy. Then. Tell him about yourself. Yeah. Like, what do you think?
First thing first, Devin is just regular. No, like I said,
I can relate. I'm a regular guy.
pay for health insurance.
I just talk.
I go to work every day. That shit sucks. But gotta do what you gotta do to pay these bills. It's another thing I pay bills.
How many times a day do you wish you could slap your boss?
Boss.
Don't say that if you don't feel comfortable going to work and letting them see that. All right, then.
Day? I wouldn't say a day. Probably like I don't even see my boss to be honest. My boss works like around the district, so he's not always so like when I do see him, he a big ass nigga. He like 6'5", 300 pounds. So like my thought don't go to like I want to slap this nigga. They go to like this really how white niggas think and act, bro. That shit's crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't be racist.
This is a regular guy show. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Making me mad. He's
Why do you?
a lot of people. And I'm like,
Why do you? Why do you feel like he's racist? You saying?
he's a 56-year-old white man who's been given everything that he got. So,
But it's the ice skater.
so like,
You know what an ice skater is? I made this. Me and some of my friends made this up when I was sales. They used to bring in these managers that feel like they were very inexperienced, very couldn't close, and all these. Did you already come to the conclusion what an ice skater is?
my assumption is they just be skating by on life and everything.
Hey, there's a lot of ice skaters in this world. See, we're regular guys, and we have to work for everything. But actually, we have to work 10 times.
I would say like 3, 2, 3. Realistically, you gotta work harder than
The ice skaters.
other people.
You have to work harder than the ice skaters. I would say about 10 times. Because listen, it's statistics. Look at it. It's statistics that we have to deal with a lot of more things than ice skaters.
And then we gotta deal with people who feel like racism isn't a thing and that all of our struggles are made up and caused by ourselves. So they tend to ignore systematic racism and oppression and then tend to act like the struggles that we talk about don't exist. So that's another struggle in itself.
I had a manager like that. But at the same time, it's funny though. I had a manager that was like that, that thought that racism was a fiction of people's imagination based off of the success of certain prominent black figures in society and how they have an influence and run pop culture in America. But I was trying to explain to him that the few don't represent the many. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people kind of look at a small scope and make a wide perception of that. Like, for example, just because Jay-Z is a mogul and has all this success and Barack Obama was a president, doesn't mean that everybody here has an equal fair shot. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. But you gotta really, I can't even say be patient with people. You gotta actually be aggressive now. It's just like, you know, fine.
I'm at the point like where I just do what I gotta do and I quit. I still proceed. Just adjust.
Yeah, because that's what regular guys do. Listen, hopefully you can get a sponsorship from Timu. Listen, I got a lot of phone cases from Timu. And, they could really use an endorsement. Yeah, think about it. Think about it, Timu. It's our first episode. So yeah, anyway,
What
in terms of society.
made you start off with a question about smacking?
But I think about slapping people regularly. So, regular basis. Oh, man.
On a regular basis, you think about smacking people. Why? Give me an example of when you thought about slapping someone recently.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Yeah, I had one instance on my job to, you know, do a certain task, and the person that I had to do the task for claimed that I didn't do the task right, and that's when I imagined slapping. See, I have to have many roadblocks in my mind for actually slapping somebody because, that could be a severe consequence. Did you know that open hand slap is an assault?
Isn't?
Some other shit. Or I think it is simple assault.
Is it worse than assault?
Not battery. Yeah, okay. So it's a simple assault and not battery, because battery is like way worse if you're trying to punch them in the face and beat the fuck out of them. But if you slap the shit out of them, it's like simple assault. So you got to get your slapping skills.
And I realized,
Check out that's what you're saying.
no, I mean, in life, like my early 20s, like most black like fairness that I was noticing in life in general. It wasn't like major. Like I had a lot of things I would say handed to me. I achieved
Like what?
the simple things. Like I was able to purchase my own car at an early age. I was able to. I don't know. I got kicked out of the house, but I was. Oh, that's another.
Same.
That's another.
This is why I have. But this is why it's very relatable. This is one of his friends. As it's very relatable. Like regular. Keep going.
Like I'm saying, the reason why I got kicked out of the house, eye-opening moments of how anger can be detrimental. Because, like you said about the slapping somebody, I had my stepdad and I never got along. I guess I reached my breaking point. It was like an accumulation of things, the anger from years, the pent up anger. I just let it out one time. Smacked that.
Nah, Devin. Devin,
I didn't.
Devin, no.
And you didn't. Because I didn't. I was just using the terminology. I didn't smack him. It was just like like I'm using it so. So forget what happened. So me and my mom were having a discussion pertaining to the car that I said that I bought on my own, my first car. It was actually my second car because those were one of the, I don't know, bright spots in my life. I had a mother who was able to support me, give things that don't have, or like I had support that other people may not have. Like I had some type of boost in climbing a societal ladder. So my mom bought me my first car, which a lot of people
don't have that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Shout out
to
that's what I was.
Shout out to Mom, Devin. Shout out to Mom too. To all the moms in America.
So even though she bought me my first car, I still had to work for that. And be paid for it. But in order to retrieve it, at 18 years old, I had to find a way to get to the car and bring it back. And the car was located in Duluth, Georgia. and I was located in central New Jersey.
Yeah, that's not a.
So
That's that's
it was like one of her lessons. Like, yeah, I'm gonna help you out, but you gotta figure it out on your own, and you gotta learn from this experience. I had to I think I took a train. Yeah, I took a train all the way to Georgia because that was all I could afford. Was a $200 train ticket. Train ride was fucking 16 or 15 hours. So I took that train all the way there.
dang. I never knew this. That's what I'm saying. Like this is what, and this is good. This is good storytelling because I never knew this. You know.
I got some stories.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Anyway, so I took the train to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. My uncle picked me up and he brought me to my other uncle's house who lived in Georgia in Duluth, where the car was. And I got the car, I needed work. Like I needed to change the brakes when I got there. Like the brakes and rotors needed to be changed. I did an oil change on it. And I never worked on cars before this, so this was my first time ever doing any of this shit. But my uncle
Helped you through it.
yeah, he walked me through it so that if I ever needed to have this knowledge, I would have it.
Yeah.
And I use that knowledge to this day. Like any car I've ever had, if I had to change the brakes and rotors, I've done it myself because they try to charge you $700 at the freaking auto shop for something. You pay $150 for some decent brakes, rotors, and brake pads, and just do the work yourself and be done in like 2 hours, depending on
How hard you work down. But
like
yeah.
if you know what you're doing. And then I had to drive the car all the way back from Georgia to New Jersey. And I got my license on the tail end of 17, so I probably have my license for like I had my license for like since November
That's 10
to
years.
no, not now. I'm talking about in the time frame of getting my
Oh, you
license
didn't
and
really
taking
have
that
that
drive.
much. That much
Yeah.
experience.
I got my license in November the year before, and I got the car before college started because I graduated at 17. So college started September. So I think went and got the car in August. So what is that? It's almost a year, I guess. Close to a year. So November to August, yeah. So what is that? 8 months. I had my license for 8 months, and then I had to drive 16 hours. I'm saying it was
It was a life experience.
it humbled me though. Like
It was a learning
it was a
experience.
privilege that I got. Humbled me. It wasn't like, oh, I'm getting this. I asked for it and I got it.
There's a lot of things in life that can humble you. You know, that's and I'm glad that you got through that. I'm glad that you were able to get there and make it home
Thank
safely. I know that I don't know if you want
I
me to
mean,
share this on the podcast. We're getting this out. I know that you aren't very religious, but thank God, you know, because many things could have happened.
yeah, I know.
You know,
But being the person that I am, I didn't for a second doubt that I wasn't getting that car to New Jersey. It felt like a vacation to me, to be honest.
fuck.
I went to
Yeah.
like I said, I took a train ride. That was the first time I ever took a train ride.
I don't think I've ever taken a train ride that far.
Yeah, like that. So I got to sleep on the train. I had my own like little cubby. And this was back before technology was as good as it is now. So I had to bring my old ass laptop. Like I couldn't do shit on it because I ain't have no internet because we had to pay more money for the internet for the train. So I brought my laptop.
You play chess on that shit.
I'm pretty sure I played like solitaire, but I had my iPod too and my phone.
That chess is a motherfucker.
So I think I had my phone. So I would play games on my phone, and I had just like I brought like the CD thing that you would have.
Right.
I had a whole bunch of movies on it. So I just watched movies the whole time.
That's tough.
I think I had bought like new movies.
That nigga didn't do no drugs.
I don't do drugs. I never needed them. Like it don't seem like it, but I have a positive outlook on life.
That nigga do drugs. He just don't do drugs like I think. That nigga do edibles. You
I
count
don't. I don't do edibles. I have taken edibles. You know, I take them not periodically. Like last time I had an edible was my what am I 28? So the lake house for what was that 2 years ago? My
So you're an
26th birthday?
unfrequent drug user.
Sure.
That's what you.
Sure.
That's what you can say. See, that's just crazy. That's another thing I want to talk about. But before I get to that, that's another good topic. Do you want to elaborate on the slap, or do you want to not go into that too much? Like, what was it?
Honestly,
Or was it?
I told you I didn't slap him. It was just the terminology because you were talking about like I was
So what was it? Was it?
metaphorically I slapped him. We got into
So what was it unmetaphorically, like actually? What was it?
well, we got into an actual fist fight.
But the
And
first initiation was a slap.
no, I didn't slap him. Like so he had said something
Was it open hand?
pertaining to me and my car, and I told him I'm like, why are you even like why are you talking? Like I said it kind of disrespectfully. I was like, "Why are you talking? This has nothing to do with you." And I guess he took offense to that.
He kept it gangster.
Which I can understand how he took offense to that.
He kept it gangster, and he felt.
I think he said something along the line like he was like I shouldn't be talking to him like that. And I'm like,
No.
like I was like, who are you? Like why shouldn't I be talking to you like that? Why are you talking to me? I forget what happened in terms of how it got to us fighting, but I know he had grabbed me because I was wearing a hoodie, like I always do. I was wearing a hoodie.
So he tried the game.
Like no, like I had my hoodie on like this, and he got mad at something that I said, so he like literally grabbed my hoodie like this and pushed me back onto the table that where my mom was eating breakfast, and we knocked over her food, and that shit pissed me off. But like I pushed him off me, and I let it go because we knocked over the food that my mom was eating.
Right.
After she had just made all of us breakfast and we ate already.
Word.
So I just went in my room, and then I felt bad about the fact that instance, like she just made us food, we ate, and then her food was fucked up and she didn't get to eat. So I went out there and I was cleaning it up because I felt bad. And as I'm cleaning it up, this nigga stood over me and said some disrespectful shit. And I don't know. I just know that I got up and punched him straight in his face, and he stumbled back. And
yeah, it was the break.
I don't know. I think he was shocked, like I actually hit him. And then my mom, like she had like stood in between me and was like pushing me back and pushing him back. And as she was doing that and he was trying to get to me, I think he ended up like elbowing her by accident. And then that just set me off. So then I like lunged at him and I knocked him over and I was just hitting him. And I just kept hitting him. And he was like trying to kick me off of him. And like in my head, like I'm not thinking, but I am thinking at the same time because my brain works like really weird. Like I could be having the most serious reaction to something, but in the back of my head, I'm like making jokes and shit. Like I don't know what it is. So like as I'm punching this nigga in his face and he trying to kick me off of him, it was like the funniest shit ever. Like he was doing bicycle kicks laying on the ground. And in my head, I'm like, this nigga that I've been like partially scared of my entire life. Yeah. So I'm beating his ass. I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, how you a cop? Well, yeah, he was a cop. I'm like, how you a cop? And I'm beating your ass right now. So then like I came back to reality again, and I'm like, in America, like what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Your ass beat by regular.
So I got off of him. Like I got off of him.
America.
And I'm like, all right. I got off of him. He saw that I literally could have just like, like really kept beating his ass, but I got off of him. I tried to spare him. And as I tried to spare him, and I turned around, he got up and tried to tackle me. And he tackled me into the wall.
And put a hole in it?
No, he didn't put a hole in the wall, but like I had to like brace myself against the wall. And because like he tackled me around here, I just like grabbed his head and I was punching him in his head. I'm like, I tried to leave him alone. Like that. And then I don't know. I think I'm too like in that moment. I was being too passive, I guess, because like I was hitting him, But then I heard my mom crying. Like, she was like really crying. I never heard her cry like this before. She was like, stop, stop. So I stopped because I felt bad. And when I stopped, he had got up and put me in a headlock. And then when he put me in a headlock, he like twisted me around and then like landed on me. And I'm not a big guy. I'm like, at that time, I was probably like 118. Like, I weighed 118 pounds, and this man weighed like 200 pounds.
So he did a full body turnover on you.
So he put me in a headlock, and then he like fell down on me. So like his weight is on top of me while he has me in a headlock, and my face is in the ground. And all I could think in that moment was like, I'm about to fucking die, bro. And I'm like, I'm about to fucking die because I let this shit happen.
You could have ended it.
Right. Like, I couldn't breathe, and I'm like so much shit went through my head.
Ended that nigga.
So much shit went through my head at that point. I was like, how the fuck did we get to this point? And I'm about to die because I stopped being this nigga ass because of my mom, and she about to let me die. Like, that was like the whole.
Listen, I as somebody with a single mother as well, that was not to say or criticizing your mother, but I know drama and trauma. Drama and trauma combined. I know about this, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I mean, I'm not sorry about it. Like I was saying, it was a learning lesson for me.
He isn't sorry about it. He's just sharing one of his stories. But I did want to touch on a point that, kind of digresses away from this type of topic. I do have stories of my own with my single mother. We'll get to that. But I did want to talk about drug use. What is that? What does that count as, drug use? Does it, or drug abuse rather? What is that in America in 2025? This is January 2025, by the way. But what is that? Is that smoking weed every day? Is that doing Percocets?
Drug abuse?
When you're unprescribed? So is that having a double cup? What is drug abuse?
You're asking if those things categorized as drug abuse.
I think all of those things are categorized as drug abuse. Using any substance every single day or frequently simply for pleasure is abuse. But see, why do they call it abuse if it's for pleasure? I think that's such a conundrum. If this is for pleasure, how am I abusing it?
I don't know if it's helping.
In certain areas. Hold on one second. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think the abuse part pertains to abusing yourself and abusing your situation, not necessarily abusing the drug. The utilization of the drug abuses you. That's my take on drug abuse. That's why it's called abuse.
So can you
think if you feel like you have to smoke weed every day, it has become. I think if you smoke weed every day and it takes away from certain necessities and aspects in your lifestyle that help you progress, it's abuse. Now, say if an individual had everything in their life situated, they're on a good path, and they recreationally smoke weed, and if they did it every day, but they did it in moderation every day, to the point where they could still function in terms of like the things that they need to do in their life, I don't think that's abuse.
So the difference is somebody who has their life together and who doesn't, if I'm listening correctly. Is it abuse?
No, not in that simplest form,
It's not how you understand it or perceive it.
What I'm saying is,
so is Wiz Khalifa a drug abuser? But he has his life together, and that's what I'm saying. Now
so that's why I was trying to.
Now, am I a drug abuser?
You consider yourself a drug abuser?
Listen, I say no to drugs,
okay,
but they don't listen.
No, but seriously, do you consider yourself a drug abuser?
I consider myself
your utilization of
somebody who has a high utilization of drugs, but also has a high potential.
Okay, so with that said, do you feel like your utilization of drugs sometimes gets in the way of your potential?
I can say that there are instances where, yes, maybe my drug use can get in the way of my potential. But I also feel like my drug use adds to my potential in ways that people may not understand.
All right, let me rephrase the question.
As an artist,
Do you feel like sometimes you prioritize drug use over something that you feel is a necessity?
I don't think I prioritize drug use. I think my problem is I prioritize pleasure as a whole. That's my problem. I think I've been contemplating a lot over this year, the beginning of this year, because I think everybody needs pleasure and even everybody has their vices. But I think I have a bad combination of having an addiction to pleasure and what I find pleasure in.
Okay.
Like, say, for instance, I have an addiction to pleasure, but my pleasure is going to church. Nobody would say shit about me anyway. Like, nobody would be like, hey, like, you're a weirdo. You're going to church so much.
I think
That's considered normal.
I guess
in
less
society.
people would, but say you going to church, but you're not going to work, and you going to church, and I'm not even gonna
That's
say
very
necessarily
true.
not necessarily work, because not everybody has to work a 9 to 5 job to provide for themselves. But if you going to church and just going to church and then not outside of church, you're not doing anything to, I don't know, progress your
Life.
I don't know, like just do the things that you need in order to live a comfortable life. Like you're not prioritizing the things that you need to do in order to obtain the things that you want. Like, I mean, I guess some people, and it's subjective, some people could go to church and not work and sleep outside and they feel fulfilled just going to church as long as they could find something to eat and something to drink. I don't know. My mindset is I have things that I want and things that I need, and I'm willing to sacrifice the things that I want to obtain the things that I need.
Yeah, sacrificing I think is a I don't know if that's something like that's something I gotta say. I come to gripes with a little bit. Excuse me. Oh shit. Turgaloo. Oh no, that was Deron Williams. I drafted Deron Williams. Yeah, sacrificing. I think as I get older, I get better at, but definitely in my younger man years, because I'm 28 years old right now. In my younger man years, I had gripes with sacrificing. I didn't know how, and I think, like I said, I had an addiction to pleasure. Well, I think I still do battle with that a little bit. It's a little bit better now, but yeah, I definitely used to be addicted to high sex. That is a real thing, kids. Listen, this show was also to protect the youth. This is where you're going to come and get the truth about things that you might not know about. Or they're not going to teach you about in school because this is regular guy. All right? Don't keep fucking whatever girl you got high on drugs. You could get addicted to that too. That's a drug. That's two drugs, actually, combined. No bullshit. No bullshit. Take it from me, kid.
I've done it a couple times, and it was great.
Don't keep doing that shit. I'm telling you, just fall back. If the weed not hitting you no more, don't go to the next drugs. Don't do nothing else. Just fall back. Sit back and relax for a few days, nigga. And then roll up again. And you'll be like, wow.
I say, don't do drugs at all.
Yeah, don't, yeah, no. Listen, kids. If there's a listen, I'm talking, okay. Well, I was saying for people who are already there. They already there. For the people that's not already there, I don't advise it. Listen, don't try this shit at home, kids. Don't do it. Just say no. Dead ass. Listen to me when I say that I wish I could go back in time and not smoke two spliffs back to back with them niggas. I wish I could go
That's
back
what started it all.
and not smoke two blunts back to back. They was passing two blunts together in the circle at the corner.
So how old were you when this?
I guess we're going into this, huh?
Unless you don't want to. Yeah.
Well, listen. Sorry, Mom. Listen, anyways, yeah, this is wow, what a story. Should I don't I'm gonna do the Wiz Khalifa route. I'm not gonna say how old I was. I can't. I can't. No, yeah, no. That we're saving the youth. I can't do that because that's a little crazy. Actually, when I realize it, when I like start, I'm like, it's a little crazy. Actually, I didn't think it was crazy at the time, but it actually is very crazy. Actually,
I was
but
gonna
yeah,
say, what year was it? You already told niggas the age. So.
nope. Listen, but yes, I was entirely too young. Damn, I was entirely too young, entirely too impressionable, and it was a time, it was an era in culture. And like I said, that's why I brought up a Wiz Khalifa example. It was an era of, I want to dive into that a little bit. It'd be a combination topic. That time it was an era of when hip hop was still rising. I think that hip hop and pop culture is at a plateau right now. I could be very wrong. It might be transitioning, but it was at a time where it transitioned to the drug dealer being cool into the drug user being cool. So that became very impressionable on that. Not to blame outside influences. You make your own decisions, of course. But it was such a mysticism around smoking weed and experimenting and, just finding different facets of mind, things like that. At a young age, there was just such fascination with that. So, yeah, I would say that I was very young, very impressionable. Yeah, I just had time. Had a lot of time to myself. That's a bad thing for you. Having a lot of time to yourself to try to make decisions. That's bad. Could be bad. Could be bad.
I don't know.
Depends on the person.
Because I had a lot of time too to myself. My mom, all throughout my life, was never home. She was always working. So I was just home alone from 6 years old.
Yeah, sad.
Home alone.
Regular guys. Regular guys at home.
I would play video games. Like my issue was
Yeah, I had a lot of video.
I'm a big procrastinator. That shit used to be bad. Now it's not so bad because I realize some shit just gotta get done. The faster you get it done, the less you gotta worry about it. But back then, I would come home from school, hop straight on video games,
Dang. I think that's everybody.
not do my homework,
Yeah, I would never do
not
that.
even care about that shit. Like my mom sent me an email the other day of an email that she got from one of my teachers when I was in middle school, I think. And my perception of myself right now is I was a good kid. Like I know, like there was times where I wasn't a good kid, like every other kid. Like you said, experimenting and finding yourself and shit. I did shit, man. Like every person,
Ain't had no
you wasn't
business
supposed to be
doing. Ain't had
doing.
no business doing. Ain't had no business doing.
But like people always think like I always got good grades and shit.
I thought you went in high school. We went to high school together. If you didn't know.
Like I mean, I wasn't failing. Like I failed classes. I don't know. I failed some classes. I don't
You
know.
didn't fail any classes, you said?
Not. I didn't fail classes. I don't think I've ever failed a class throughout the year in high school for sure. I did get like on one of my work that I would tighten the fuck up and do what I had to do so that I didn't have to take this class again.
Yeah, I remember this one time I failed English. It was a regular CP. It took me a minute to remember. I failed it. And the teacher was like, I'm not going to put you in a regular English class because I know that you're smarter than this and being very lazy. So you're going to repeat CP. I said, fuck, it's the easy English class. But I failed it. You being lazy as shit.
But dude,
And at the time, being young, I was like, fuck. damn, why's she doing this? But then, as I got older and I thought about this, I said, I understand. She was a black teacher too. Shout out to Miss Tannis.
I had Miss Tennis too. She was cool though. My class.
Yeah, but she used to be reading that book and be asking us questions ain't nobody knew the answer to.
Not a trick. Well,
Ain't nobody knew the answer to that, Miss Tannis. Nobody in the class knew the answer she used to be asking. She used to be thinking mad hard. Like, damn, you way ahead. Like, you talking like college level. We not that yet, bro. Like, this sophomore year. Ain't nobody even read that shit. Kind of read like 10 sentences, bro. Honest to God. Like,
so yeah, I had her for CP2, English 2. The trick to her was you just had to get her to talk about her life.
oh, what you was in the tricking teachers?
I wouldn't trick. Like, I wasn't in tricking teachers, but like I'm saying, the trick to have.
You were cancer. Y'all didn't have a real relationship with the teacher. Only had a relationship with like 2 teachers.
No, but like I wouldn't even, like I don't mean like I would talk to her about, get her to talk about her life, so she would look at me in a certain light and give me, I would get a benefit. Yeah, smart. And it wasn't just like I figured this out. The whole class figured this shit out. And when we would have like class or lectures and like presentations and shit, we would ask questions that we knew would evolve into her talking about her life experiences. And it would get to the point where she talked so much about her life experiences, we ain't learned a lesson, so then we couldn't get homework on it, or we didn't have to take a quiz, or this is not like, like, it was like, and then we were having like a whole class discussion about experiences instead of sitting there reading fucking books and trying to
That's clever.
decipher what we read and shit.
Like, it was only like Mr. Dawson and Miss Brackett. That's it.
Yeah, I know, all right. But
You crazy. You crazy to do that. You crazy. You crazy, nigga. All right, well, maybe next time we'll get into some other topic. That was a pilot. It was a beginning to many things to come. Yeah, man. So stay tuned for more stuff. Stay tuned. Regularly, that show. Take your tongue out and lick my ass with it.